All right, guys, here we are again with the entire list being spoiled for the next set. And I'm going in basically completely blind. And, hopefully it's a good set. I was very happy with Triumphant Light. I thought the power level was very appropriate. It shook up the meta, but it wasn't like crazy. It wasn't like Cyrus. It wasn't like Drudagon. It wasn't like Darkrai levels of powerful. And so I really, really enjoyed Triumphant Light as far as the design of it. So I'm just going to go over the first two cards that I'm covering with my cam. And apparently I need to get an ad blocker as well. But we do have a new Weedle. For one grass energy, it says put one random Weedle from your deck onto your bench. Okay, that's not too bad. Because if you're trying to ensure that you get to Beedrill as quickly as possible, then it really helps with that, obviously, because it thins the deck. And then also, if something happens to the Weedle in the active spot, you have a backup Weedle. So actually, I really like that. The next one is Kakuna. I don't know why it's... because it's shiny. Right, makes sense. 1 green, 20. Flip a coin if heads. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Nice, very thematic, very string shotty. We've seen the Beedrill, very excited for it. I guess if you haven't seen it yet, it's 170 HP, EX, 2 grass energy, crushing spear, 80 damage. Discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So that's why you want to get to the Beedrill as quickly as possible. So I can see myself running like double research 1 Iono and trying to get there. Pinches flip a coin until you get tails. This attack does 40 more damage for each heads. Garbage. Sprig, 60 HP, 1 grass, cry for help. Put 1 random grass Pokemon from your deck into your hand, so it's just the new Caterpie. And then Florigato, 90 HP, 2 energy, 40. That's not bad for a middle evolution. It's, it's workable. And then we have the stage 2, 140. 2 energy, grass energy, fighting claws, 60 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX, his attack does 70 more damage. So 120 for 2 is pretty good, but it is a stage 2. Oh yes, oh yes. So Charmander is now 1 energy for 20, and Charmeleon is 2 for 40. So these are going to replace the previous Charmeleon lines big time. Really don't like the Charmeleon art. That's pretty weird looking. I like the Charmander art though. Magmar, 70 HP, 1 fire energy for 20, and Magmortar, 120. Smoke Bomb, 70. 2 fire energy, 1 colorless. During your opponent's next turn, if the defending Pokemon tries to use an attack, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, the attack doesn't happen. Okay. Seems annoying as hell. We have a Fire Tauros. That's interesting. 110 HP. 1 red, 2 colorless. This Pokemon does 10 damage to itself for 80. So Mega Trash. We do have a new Tentacool. So 70 HP, 1 energy for 10. I'd rather just have the 60 for 20, to be honest. And then this Tentacruel is 100 HP, 1 energy for 40. The other Tentacruel is just better as well, I think. What was this? Buizel, 70 HP, 1 water energy for 10. And then Floatzel is 90 HP for 1 energy. This deck does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, so it's like an Evolve. It's like a Hitmonlee, but can also hit active spot. I actually kind of like that card. Then we have Wiglet, 60 HP, Spring Out, 1 water energy. One of your opponent's Pokemon's chosen at random. Do 30 damage to it. I think that's actually a pretty good attack. Okay, now we have the Wugtrio, 140 HP, 3 water energy. Pop Out, Throughout. One of your opponent's Pokemon is chosen at random 3 times. For each time a Pokemon was chosen, do 50 damage to it. So we just have a more consistent Dragonite, which is really cool. Dondozo, 120 HP basic, 2 waterless, 2 colorless. Ocean Cyclone deals 80. This deck does 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Definitely doesn't seem worth. I know it doesn't have a retreat cost with Tatsuguri, but that's just a really hefty attack. It's essentially a Blizzard that costs 1 more, right? And then the new Pikachu, 120 HP, 3 electric energy, 150 damage, discard all energy. We have another Voltorb and Electrode. I don't know why we're getting so many of these. 70 HP, does 10, and then 90 HP, 2 electric, tumbling attack, 50 plus. Flip a coin. If heads, his attack does 30 more damage. Yeah, so you would just always use the other electrode and just deal a consistent 70 while also having a free retreat. So that's just like total filler, right? Pachirisu, Plasma deals 10. Take an electric energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your electric Pokemon. Really, really good. There's definitely going to be X speed Dawn shenanigans going on. Was that Pawmi? 60 HP for 20 damage. And then Pawmo is 90 HP, 2 electric energy for 40. So this is more filler. Oh, it has a stage 2. Pawmot, 140 HP, counterattack. Yeah, really don't like this ability. But yeah, 2 electric energy to 70. And, you know, if you touch it, you're going to have 20 damage done to you. I don't think that's anywhere near good enough for a stage 2, though. We have a new Abra and Kadabra. But this Abra is 61 energy for 20, which is really cool. And then the Kadabra has the Frogadier stat line, which is really nice. 1 energy for 30, 80 HP. I like that a lot. And then we have the new Alakazam, 130 HP, 2 psychic energy, psychic suppression deals 80. This attack deals 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has energy attached. Okay, I mean, I could see that being very interesting. Mr. Mime, 90 HP, juggling, 1 psychic energy, 1 colorless. Flip 4 coins. This attack does 20 damage for each heads. That's actually not bad. That's actually not bad. All right, we have a new Drifloon, 60 damage for 1 energy for 20. And then Drifblim, 90 HP, 1 energy for 40. The Giratina EX that we saw, you can attach in psychic energy to it, but your turn ends with the ability. And then for 3 psychics in a colorless, deals 130, but also does 20 damage to itself. Was that Gimmighoul? 60 HP, 1 colorless. Chest Ooflage? I'm not supposed to say that. Flip a coin. If heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage and effects from attacks done to this Pokemon. Okay, so hopefully it has an evolution coming. We have a new Machamp, huh? So Machop is 60 for 20. Isn't the other one 70 for 20? Isn't it just better? Machoke 100 for 2 energy, 30 plus. Flip a coin. This attack does 30 more damage. So other Machoke is just better. Machamp is 150, 2 energy, power press 70 plus. If this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy attached, it does 50 more damage. Yeah, so I think the other Machamp line is just better. Hitmonlee 80 for 30, but not to a bench, but it's still kind of nice, right? It basically mirrors the Hitmonchan that we have already. And then the new Hitmonchan is 3 energy for 90 with 90 HP. You know, whatever. Riolu, 70 HP, 2 for 40. I'd rather just do 1 for 20. And then we've seen the new Lucario, but it's 150 EX, 3 fighting energy, Aura Sphere 100. This attack does 3 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. You know, I'm not like super sold on it, but I don't think it's terrible or anything. And then we have Flamigo, 80 HP, 2 fighting energy, double kick. Flip 2 coins, this attack does 50 damage for each head, so it's basically like a mini Celebi. That's gonna be underwhelming for sure. Ekans is 70 HP, 2 energy for 30. I'd rather just have the 60-20. Arbok is 110 for 2 darkness, 1 colorless. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Yeah, I think the other Arbok and Ekans is just better. This is what I was hoping for the Wooper. 50 HP poison jab. The active Pokemon is now poisoned, so you can just go right into the Cloudsire and does 60 more damage if they're poisoned. So, you know, that's a really high damage output for a stage 1. It's basically going to be almost like the EX equivalent of Executor. It's just that you can't go straight into it and start attacking. You want to go second, attack with Wooper, and then this, and not like first, don't do anything, Executor, start dealing damage. So not quite the same, but it's like a really strong, you know, stage 1 EX for darkness. Spiritomb, 80 HP, Confuse Ray, 1 darkness energy, 20. Flip a coin if heads are now confused. Shroodle, 60 HP, 1 darkness energy for 20 damage. And then Graph AA. Graph AA? I have no idea. 90 HP. Once during your turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Ooh. And that's from the bench too, right? It doesn't say it has to be active. So yeah, this is disgusting. That might make Arceus just, stay relevant. There's all this poisoning going around. Tinkatink, 60 HP for 20. Tinkatuff, 90 HP for flip a coin. If heads, attack does 30 more damage. A lot of that this set. Honestly, 2 energy for 60 if you flip heads is not bad. Obviously, it's undervalued the other way, but that's how they're balancing it. And then Tinkaton, 2 steel, 1 colorless, 170 HP, so it's a thick Pokemon. Flip a coin if heads, this attack does 80 more damage, which is, not great. All right, we saw the Vroom, 70 HP for 1 energy, dealing 10. Reveroom, 110. 2 steel, 1 colorless, does 70 damage. Flip a coin if heads during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage from and effects from attacks done to this Pokemon. So it's like Super Diglett, or Dugtrio, excuse me. That could be really annoying. Okay, and here's the Goldingo. 120 HP, 1 steel, 2 colorless. Flip a coin for each steel energy attached to this Pokemon. This attack does 30 damage for each heads. Okay, so it could do 140 damage for 3 energy. That might not be that bad. It's just, you're going to have to go gambling, right? Rattata, 50 HP for 1 for 10. That's really bad. Raticate, 90 HP, 2 for 50. That's also abysmal. Jigglypuff is 60 HP, 1 for 20. A new Wigglytuff, 100 HP. Once during your turn, you may heal 20 damage from your active Pokemon. Ooh, me likey. Ooh, I like that. So it's not as much trouble as Butterfree, but it only does the active Pokemon. That's pretty sick. Lickitungs, 80 HP, 2 for 30. Licky Licky, 3 for 70. Just garbage still. Bidoof, 2 for 30 with 70 HP. And then the Barrel is the 160, 4 colorless for 100, and it heals 30 damage. Bunnery is 1 energy for 20 damage with 50 HP. Lopunny is 100 HP, 1 energy for 30. So don't know why you would play that Pokemon at all. 80 HP, 1 colorless, over acceleration, deals 20. During your opponent's next turn, Pokemon over acceleration attacks does plus 20. Oh, during your next turn, excuse me. So does it stack? So does it do like 20, 40, 60, 80, or is it just 20 to 40? I think it stacks. That's actually kind of cool. And we've seen the Iono. Each player shuffles the cards in their hand onto their into the deck and draws that many cards. Like I said, you want to thin your deck out as much as possible. And then even if you're unlucky enough to still not have the card you want, you'll almost guaranteed have it after your Iono, right? You have to get super unlucky twice, essentially. And then Pokemon Center Lady. Okay. Heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon, and it removes all special conditions. Huh. Wow. That's pretty cool. I like that. Especially in a format that's caring so much about poison. So if your deck isn't playing Arceus, you still have a countermeasure to the poison stuff. And then we've seen Red. During this turn, attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon do plus 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. So it's not strictly better Giovanni. It's going to be meta dependent, which is a really good way of doing this. And then Team Rocket Grunt, flip a coin, and until you get tails for each head, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. So I hate that card, obviously. It's like reverse Misty. Now, what makes it not as broken as Misty is Misty, you can just flip it turn 1, skip turns, and attack immediately. This card, let's say they even get like a head. Like, let's say your opponent takes like 2 energy to attack or whatever, and they flip 1 heads, you can just put the energy right back on, and then they don't have a supporter. So it's nowhere near as good as Misty, but it is obnoxious. Like, let's say you're trying to build up like a big Pokemon in the back, and then they randomly just like flip a bunch of heads, and then your entire game plan goes out the window essentially. But yeah, it's nowhere near as good as Misty. I just hate the way that the card is designed. I think it's really bad for the game. And I guess I can just take a look at the full arts real quick. They look really good. Yeah, they look really good. Wow. Oh, that rainbow Pikachu. Wow, it's the full arts look so good. The Beedrill. That is just sick. Oh, and then we have the shinies. Okay, there's not that many shinies. And then they made the crown card Pokeball. Wow. That's dirty. I really want that, and they know it. Oh, I do like the shiny art of the Charmeleon, though. Nice. Well, overall, I'm pretty happy with the set. Nothing sticking out to me as like crazy broken yet. Interested to see how like Giratina works. I think Cloudfire is going to be good. I think there's going to be a spot for Pikachu. Like, I think there's going to be like really good decks that emerge, but nothing like, hopefully nothing like too oppressive. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.